What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Now, a lot of people hit me up. I'm not quite sure. Maybe it's you just want to hear my opinion on a certain individual in the sport of boxing, none other than Adrien Broner. A lot of people just randomly hit me up like, talk about Broner, talk about Broner. So be more specific because, I mean, there has to be something noteworthy for me to talk about. Anyway, I feel like there is something that I can talk about now because he has a fight coming up against Marcos Maidana. The fight was recently taken from Showtime pay per view, and now it has been announced that he is going to be fighting on regular Showtime. So they scrapped the whole pay per view idea, and it sounds like it was a good idea. I did a video on, do you think the Broner Maidana fight is pay per view worthy? And based on the results, a lot of people, if you go back to that video and look at the comments, a lot of people were saying no, they're not going to buy it. They're going to stream it. They're not paying pay per view rates. They said they'll only buy the pay per view if it was something ridiculous like $20 or $10, just crazy amounts. So it didn't sound like people were looking forward to paying for that fight. So it looks like a good idea for Golden Boy to scrap the pay per view idea because I don't know if ticket sales had anything to do with it. Maybe the sales weren't what they expected. Victor Ortiz was also supposed to fight on that card. I'm not sure if he still is. He was supposed to fight Carlos Molina. That fight got canceled. So maybe his departure or the departure of that title fight was another reason or justification for it no longer being a pay per view event. I think it's a very solid card. I'm really looking forward to it. But I am personally glad that it will be on regular Showtime. Now I don't have to come out of pocket, even though I was going to, just because I like the fight card and I support boxing. So, I mean, that's what I do. I like boxing. So, some of you guys, it sounds like you just don't pay for the fights regardless. It could be Manny Pacquiao and Marquez or Mayweather versus Pacquiao. It sounds like some of you guys would stream that, or Canelo and Mayweather with Danny Garcia, Lucas Matisse. I don't know, but I support the fights. If it's some bullshit, then I will probably stream it too. But it's a good fight card. It's a solid fight card. As far as Adrien Broner, I just hope he stays disciplined and doesn't let fame get to him. It looks like he has the personality type to. Sometimes you have athletes and to go from a have not to a have, they don't know how to take it all in. They don't know how to act. And Adrien Broner shows elements of that. Like, I don't know how he's going to pan out. What he'll be in the sport in 5 years. He could be great. He could be somebody who's washed up. I don't really know. I think that's all dependent on how he treats these next couple of years, what he does to his body. One thing I did notice, speaking of his body, no homo, pause, AB, um, looks like he gains a lot of weight. Like when he's not fighting, he looks like his walking around weight is pretty high up there, especially from a guy who was fighting at 130, 135 and moved up to welterweight, jumped up 2 weight classes to fight Paulie Malignaggi. The motherfucker looks like very stocky. He has that like Ninja Turtle build where he just looks really stocky, no neck. And for someone who's fighting at welterweight, he just looks big. Even on the All Access with Floyd Mayweather, he had a cameo on that. It was the Mayweather versus Canelo All Access, and they showed Broner, and I think Mayweather was teasing him, saying, "You're getting fat, boy," when Broner came into Mayweather's dressing room or whatnot. And he does. I mean, he just looks like big. Like he looks, I don't know. He just looks like he gains a lot of weight, as you can see in the pictures that I'm displaying. He looks really big. So I just hope he's taking boxing seriously. I've said it time and time again. I will repeat it. Boxing is a highly disciplined sport. It's mano y mano, one on one. It's not a team sport, and you got a team like Al Heyman or promoters and trainers. You do have a team, but in that square circle is you and an opponent. That's what I mean by it's not a team sport. Versus you watch the Dallas Cowboys game, it's not just Tony Romo. He has a line, he has receivers, running back, etc. Um, so I just hope Broner stays focused. He has his work cut out against Marcos Maidana, who's someone who's already been acclimated, looks better and better at welterweight. Because when Marcos Maidana first moved up to welterweight and fought Devin Alexander, that was probably his worst fight at welterweight. He just didn't look good. He looked very lethargic, sluggish, like he was punching himself out. Didn't look conditioned. After that fight, he partnered with Robert Garcia, and I've seen improvements. I've seen him make adjustments. I think his best performance overall in its totality would be his fight with Jesus Soto Caras. That was a real war. Jesus Soto Caras, a fighter with a chin, and he throws a high volume of punches typically. Caras always has a high work rate. And, I mean, he comes to win. He comes to scrap. He can make it a difficult night for anyone. And Marcos Maidana looked good. He was fighting off the ropes. That's where I really got to see him use his jab. He used his jab somewhat in the Josecito Lopez fight, but he looked more of a brawler in the Josecito Lopez fight as opposed to the Jesus Soto Caras. I seen him doing some different tricks that he probably learned at the Garcia gym. So shout out to Robert Garcia for his workings and the improvements he's making with Maidana. Really looking forward to this fight. No longer on pay-per-view, as I mentioned, so we can all watch it on Showtime if you have Showtime. If not, you should get Showtime because they've been having some great fights. Bernard Hopkins and Murat, Quillen, the list goes on and on. I've seen a lot of great fights on Showtime. Zab Judah and Danny Garcia was another one. Just ton of good fights. So shout out to Golden Boy. And let me know what you guys think of Adrien Broner. Where will he be in 5 years? Do you think he looks fat? Leave a comment. Let me know what you guys think of Broner. AB, always ballin', asking bitches, almond butter, always bacon. As always, hate, comment, or subscribe. Till next video, it's Ego signing off.